Do you actually believe that there is a constitutional right without having economical freedom? I have to admit, I've had this mind. I wanted to get this out for a while now. This seems to be the moment as of Canadian response to the truckers' protest. I believe we all agree that the constitutional democracies are a solid form of government, probably the best form we've tried so far. So here I will have a few assumptions. Fundamental right to speech, assembly, religion, and so on. Innocent until proven guilty. Cannot be punished without due process, meaning the state must prove what laws have been broken. As you see, this is the cornerstone in a democracy, and if you don't agree with this, you can as well close down the window now, since we will not agree on anything at all. So, what does this have to do with economic freedom, you ask? Freedom of speech might require you to do activities similar to a website, a pamphlet, an advertisement, hiring a graphic designer, traveling, and so on. All these cost money, right? The same goes from the freedom of assembly and freedom of religion. It all costs money to exercise these rights. The interesting part is that historically, the risk of having financial censorship until around 2001 was very low. We have been using commodities, shells, gold, different cash based instruments as well. All these instruments we used, as well as all non custodial, decentralized, and certainly not KIC. For the last 2 decades have been something different. Non-custodial money has become suspicious by default. Political pressure with balancing the system, banking system, patriotic acts, central banks want to remove the cash. But aren't they doing all this to prevent terrorism, tax evasion, and money laundering? I agree, it is the goal, but not the real goal here. There are something here that is creepy, short term and long term, okay? In both the United States and Europe, banks and payment processors are not allowed to conduct business with certain businesses, such as cryptocurrency investment, gun, pornography, and so on. This is not a democracy. We should be able to vote for this. We should be able to de elect the politician who voted for it if we don't like it. Instead, something else happened: deep bureaucracy. Banks pointed fingers to the regulators. They told us to close high risk accounts. And then the regulators point to the bank and say, "We never said that, just, be careful." What is the outcome of this actually? You do not have a bank account anymore. There is no due process, not even a law that say you should not have a bank account. This is deep bureaucracy. Nothing democratic about this at all. If you do not have a bank account, you essentially lost your economical freedom today. You need to pay your bills, receiving your paycheck, pay for stuff, invest, buy crypto, and all these require traditional payment rails. Prepare. This will become worse. Most central banks are looking into CBDCs, and their goal with them is to eliminate cash, global transaction censorship, apply negative interest rates. If they do this, it will be the most powerful centralized system the world has known so far. With the push of one button, they can take away everything from anyone. What if your next president would decide to become a dictator and just censor the opponent during the election? Competition removed and goodbye democracy, okay? It is an immense power without even needing a due process. It is a certainty. Remember that people who want power usually run for the presidential office. If we go back 20 years, no one would have said that the goal was to create negative interest rates to your saving. Yet, still, here it is what it is now, isn't it? And people will, of course, try to find another place to keep their money. But then they prevent them from doing it. Also, every single year, it keeps getting worse, restricted, more reporting, higher penalties for withdrawing cash. They have turned it from presumption of innocence to guilt. They ask questions like, why do you need to withdraw 5K cash? If you do not hide anything, why do you need a non-custodial instrument? Non-custodial is dangerous. Is it really dangerous? Really? Pretty much the entire human existence has been non-custodial. And I believe we did just fine without it. And non-custodial is essentially that you have control of your own money. What kind of bullshit is that, huh? This is a new way for them to get a strong power grab on you. Why do you think central banks dislike crypto? Anyways, let's get back to constitutional rights again. You have constitutional rights. You need money to exercise them. The state has the power to cut off funding. Okay? What could happen next? The liberal prime minister of a G7 country, known for its extreme good nature and general easygoingness. Prime Minister Trudeau has a political problem. What is this problem? Truck drivers have blocked part of Canadian cities and highways to protest against the COVID policies. It's probably annoying him, his voters, and a bit bad for the economy. I get it. I have no clue what the COVID policies are, so I cannot say if it's good, bad, or neutral. I bet the protesters have broken some law here. So, a reasonable action in a democracy would be to either let them do it in a good faith or arrest them to put them on a trial. And I'm fine with that. However, in a democracy, you're innocent with proven guilty and have to prove what law you broke and beyond a reasonable doubt. This may take time and cost money, they even may up and losing the case, the government, okay? This is the price of a free country. This, however, has not been what has been going on in Canada now. They decide to invoke an emergency act. This act is essentially used when someone exceeds what the province can deal with or threaten the sovereignty of Canada. What is so remarkable here is that it makes me question, when will this happen again in the future and for what reasons? Canada has decided to ask every single financial provider, banks, credit cards, investment firms, crowdfunding platforms, crypto company, insurance company to start to freeze accounts of anyone who directly or indirectly supporting the protests. The Emergency Act does not need any due process nor any civil liability to freeze the accounts. We barely even know what indirectly means so far. However, they are being treated as terrorist financiers, okay? Honestly, I doubt these guys are trying to overthrow the government for real, and I don't think they could do it anyway. The real risk we are looking at here is that constitutional rights will be curtailed not through laws or court, but through weaponization of the financial system. Possibly you like Trudeau and dislike the truckers, but what's make you think this might not be happening to you the next time? What if Trump would do the same to his competition? I doubt that this far from the latest time will happen. If you want at looking at the longer term, and I'm quite sure they will not be rebanked again. No banking, no credit card, no investment, or insurance, which means no job for them. Okay, this type of punishment can't be handed out without a due process. Now imagine if we end up with a fully custodial system where there are no cash, no non-custodial crypto, and a fully controlled digital currency. This action can be done with a single press of one button to a lot of people. No one would ever abuse that power, right? Of course not. Still, Canada just did it. Weaponized the financial system against domestic dissent. It is extremely important that we will not accept it for what it is and enter an economy and digital that is completely centralized. So let's summarize this up. Financial system underpin everything, including our constitutional rights. Weaponizing the financial system to resolve domestic dissent or even criminal justice issues is a terrible, terrible precedent to set. We must preserve non-custodial wallet at all cost. At last, I really want to say thank you, Canada, for making this clear to us. And I am more bullish than ever on decentralized cryptocurrency and DeFi. I do not think the democracy in Canada is over or anything, nothing dramatic like that. However, it is clear that this is not the way to do as Canada just